What's up, knife freaks? Today we are going to go over our most commonly asked question slash problem, which is I'm having trouble opening my Mac 2 with one hand with my thumb, particularly on the 3-inch. Sometimes it happens on the 3.5. But before I go into the technique and the ins and outs of it, let me give you the rundown of how we make these knives and why they feel the way they do. So this is a thumb stud opening knife, right? But we don't actually make them like a regular thumb stud opener. I make them more like a thumb stud flipper. So the detents on them are made more like a flipper, where it's designed so that as you're pushing on the thumb stud, that it's building up pressure on the detent ball. And then once that detent ball releases out of the hole, it basically flies out, okay? It's not designed to have a really weak detent that you just rely solely on thumb speed to flick it out. These, it's more pressure builds up, it releases, and it flies out. It's not like a light switch kind of thing where just the faster you flick it, the more force it gets, okay? It's coming from the pressure of the detent built up. We make them like that intentionally. Some of the other brands out there intentionally make theirs not to be snapped out like that. But I would much rather you flick it out with your thumb like that than to have a hard time flicking it out and end up using your wrist and flicking it out, which is for sure not good for your knife. So that being said, know up front that we make the detents on these a little stronger than a lot of them, okay? Also, the thumb stud placement is probably a little different than some of the other thumb studs that you're used to. It's farther towards the front of the knife, and that's because I designed it, again, to be flicked out and not to be taken and rolled open in a circle like that, but to be flicked out. And so all you got to do is find the right angle. You're not trying to push straight forward and you're not trying to push straight up. It's somewhere in between, about a 45-degree angle right there. Your thumb should just naturally rest right on the thumb stud right there, and then it's just basically flick your thumb straight out, okay? I do not like to use my thumbnail under the thumb stud. I use the little pad of my thumb right on the end of my thumb there, and then it's, once you find the right angle, it's just a straight flick out, and that's all there is to it. That not getting the right angle and trying to push in the wrong direction is one of the biggest problems. The other main problem is putting pressure on the lock bar, especially on a knife this size, guys, on this 3-inch model. If you put any pressure on the lock bar whatsoever, you're going to have a really hard time opening the knife, and that's common amongst most frame locks. So ours, because the detents are a little bit stronger in the first place, it's more of an issue. And I swear I've had people literally standing in front of me holding the knife and swearing up and down that they're not pressing on the lock bar, and they still have a finger on the lock bar. They're still having trouble opening it, okay? All you have to do, people worry about the knife flying out of their hand or whatever. I hold it just like this, okay? That's the way I hold it. But with this finger, then just relax and just not even really on the knife. So you can see my grip there. Boom. That's all there is to it. Every now and then, if you're holding it in a death grip too, and believe me, I've seen people like white knuckle these things standing in front of me at Blade Show, and you'll be gripping it tight, and if you're putting too much pressure right there on the clip or with this finger right there on the lock bar, you can do the same thing, but your index finger is usually the culprit. If it's laying on that lock bar at all, you're probably gonna have a really hard time opening the knife if you may not even be able to open it, okay? So just simply let that finger just kind of lay to the side there and flick it out. That's exactly what it's designed to do, and that's all there is to it. Probably 9 out of 10 knives that we get back in to adjust the detent, or there's nothing wrong with them, okay? There may be a touch on the strong side, but well within our standards. Most of the time, I've literally talked people through it on the phone. I've sent them videos, done it in person at shows, and once the light comes on, once you do it once or twice and you find the right hand position, you find the right technique, the right angle with your thumb, then it becomes easy, and it's like a light switch going off. Then from that point on, you've got it, and most people then love it. It's actually very satisfying to be able to do it. So that's the info on our detents, guys. That being said, if you try all this, you try your technique, you do what I just showed you, you still have trouble with it, then by all means contact us and let us know, and we'll see if there's something we can do about it. But just know up front that we get people saying that they get a knife from us or from a dealer and that they literally cannot open it with one hand. I can promise you that knife has been opened by basically everybody in the shop before it got out of here. So I know for a fact that they can be opened. Some of them may be a little harder than others, but again, if you're having trouble, just let us know and we'll see what we can do about it. But I think this is going to probably help 95% of the people that are having detent trouble with our knives. So we appreciate it, you guys. If you have any questions, reach out, and we will see you next time.